Tonight, we're going to be talking about the producer's letter. This is the last producer's letter for December of 2024. And I know you folks were probably with me just last couple, actually Sunday. It was December 1st when we streamed. Uh, yeah, December 1st. Yeah, it was Sunday. Pretty sure it was Sunday. I don't know. So I know you guys were with me then, or some folks were maybe not. So the biggest announcement that we had was coming from the Creator League folks talking about the Ultimate Tactical mods. Those Ultimate Tactical mods are now live in game today. Uh, we'll certainly go into that. And again, I hate pay to win. It's an absolute pay to win device. It's awful. It's just fucking awful. Um, I will say that I did already read the producer's letter today. I did read it this afternoon, and I would lie. I would absolutely be lying to you if I didn't say this is some good shit. Okay, it's like it, it really is like that rough girl, like a terrible girlfriend or even a terrible boyfriend. It's they just came out 2 days ago with the Creator League announcing again they got from the developers about the Ultimate Tactical mods. They're actual progression mods that are new, the new white mods that are only sold on the marketplace. You can't get these just by playing. You have to buy these on the marketplace. I absolutely loathe it and hate it and condemn that entire practice. Okay, you've been skirting that line always. It's always been skirting that line. But now you give me this, you give me a pay to win item, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And it's just a terrible, terrible business practice. So I am here to. I don't remember that quote. I don't even remember the quote. So what we're gonna see now, we're gonna talk about the producer's layer because again, it was absolutely great. Um, where are these quotes from, D? What? Quote number two, I'm so hardcore, I didn't even pitch a tent from when I played New World. What? That is okay. Okay, I'm getting distracted. Oh my god. Whew. That makes me blush. I don't know why it's making me blush. What was old man? Past Mike was so young and innocent. Okay, so this producer layer. Let's go into it. Now, sorry, it's like it's all white. Like they need a dark mode on the website. Okay, so I am going to read this word for word because everyone loves my voice and I like hearing my own voice because I'm that kind of person. All right, greetings, greetings, fellow heroes and villains. I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Andre Emerson, executive producer for DC Universe Online, and have been developing games for the past 30 years. You've not heard from me until now, but only because I've been immersed in DCUO for the past several months, logging countless hours across multiple characters. I'm sure some of us have grouped together as gamers. It's been critically important for me and our other newer team members to experience the depth and breadth of the game as players before developers. So keep in mind that we did have Kendrick, who is the other executive producer. Now we have Andre Emerson here. So it is nice to see a new name. Hopefully we get to see a new face. So further on, before we jump into what's coming for DCU, I'd like to take a moment to recap on the year's events and some of the newer additions that have made into the game. So I'm certainly going to talk each about these. Outside of the annual events that you've maybe accustomed to, like our usual seasonals, we've had a blast exploring and introducing new elements to the game, starting with the Year of the Dragon, which was actually pretty neat. I did get my dragon horns. That was baller. I will say that was baller. All new art direction, Harley Quinn versus Apocalypse, for sure. I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that. The availability of DCU on next gen consoles could have been smoother. Could have been smoother. I think even PlayStation might still have problems here. Is breath a word? Shh. He's been in the game industry for a long time. Let him be. Let him be. Let him be. And now the Outsider Ops. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. It's the low man saved the universe, and it's not. No. You know, one out of some isn't bad. Not everything is going to be a hit. Okay, so let's not forget some of the many quality of life improvements that have made a big impact on our daily gaming experience. Starting with a new message of the day feature. Barely noticed it. Sorry, I'll call it a win. I'll call it a win, but I barely noticed it. Uh, the revamped login message banner. Oh no, wait, I have seen that. Yeah, it breaks a little bit. It does break sometimes. I remember actually for to be fair, again, I don't play a lot anymore, but I did notice it when I logged in for the operations ops, and it took me into the marketplace, and it was didn't really send me to the right place. Um, and yep, after years of only being able to flip forward through the vendor list, we finally got that back button in. And they did. The back button's great. I will say that the one thing that they missed here that they really should have nailed, they should have really mentioned it, is the improvement to the marketplace. The improvement to the marketplace, the UI improvement, great. It is great. I don't know if my hair moved during that. It would be pretty cool if it did. But no, the marketplace change is great. They should have really mentioned that because that is an absolute win. That is a slam dunk. It's not the full UI change that we would like, but it is user friendly a little bit more. It is different. And the actual timers on the sales that, as we saw during this weekend for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, fantastic. That is a great change. So 2024 has been a year of exploration, and the gratitude we have for this community support goes off the charts. For sure. Oh, and it blurs things too. Oh, I don't know what the blur things means. I don't know that part. Um, Saying 2024 has been a year of exploration is absolutely key. Okay, we did lose Meps. That's one of my boys, no doubt. Still miss Teed Stoon. Uh, we did lose Meps. We lost a lot of other developers as well, and we have new developers in, and we have new word developers here. So we, you know, even people who didn't really like the new Harley versus the Apocalypse episode, it was the same format. And honestly, I feel like it's not the fault to an extent of the developers. It's really just the content structure. We've been saying, or especially me, I've been saying that the content structures need to change for the past 2 or 3 years because it's just gotten stale. It's just stale content always, no matter what no matter what the storyline is. So this episode being the new developers, this is their kind of touch into that kind of content. They didn't do too bad. I know I hear a lot of my friends talk about the cart mechanic, the cart daily or weekly. So now for what's to come. So now we're going to talk about the future. So there are plenty of exciting updates to look forward to because we've been hard at work planning many changes and improvements to DCUO. For example, we're overhauling the Renown system to be far more inclusive. Beginning with our next big story arc, all players will earn Renown when defeating bosses, in new instance content. The difficulty setting will determine the rate at which you earn. This will allow aspiring players to gain access to elite gear as well as engagement in the Affinity mod system. Now, before I continue, yes, thank you, Therm, for the gift of sub to Chosen. Thank you so much. I want to say yes. Okay? Please understand that a lot of my background in MMOs comes from World of Warcraft, comes from Star Trek Online, comes from a little bit of RuneScape. I don't talk about RuneScape enough, but it's but a lot of it comes from World of Warcraft. I'm still playing World of Warcraft now. Like, I just can't stop. Like, this is the best expansion ever since Legion. I love this expansion. Yes, Renown. Yes, I'm a huge reputation buff. I love doing reputation grinds. It's one of the things I love mindlessly doing every day, doing world quests, doing all of that. That's exactly how Renown should be working now. Having the access to the elite gear with it, one could say out the other. I mean, it's also because there's just nothing else there for Renown to do. Rehauling the system into this, you play everything, you get Renown all the time. Just doing it gets you to that elite gear, which is great. Because, and I will say that it's always a gatekeeping situation. Okay, it's always a gatekeeping situation when you experience the elite side of the content. All right, you run normal, you run event, you run normal, like it's all day, every day. You're gonna be fine. But when you get into the elite raids, you start seeing some of the most obnoxious players sometimes that are just immediately, oh, we wiped on trash, leave, get over it. My God, get over it. You're gonna wipe. You know how many times? I mean, it is something that plagues World of Warcraft. But I tell you, fucking right now, I don't see enough. I don't see the same amount of people leaving a World of Warcraft raid than I do for a DCUO raid, and the players are just different. WoW players are just built different. As me coming from that, you mean to tell me I'm spending 45 minutes to an hour on this one boss? You goddamn right I am. But I also understand. I also respect about players. Players is their time. They don't want to spend all their time on this difficultyness, so they're gonna leave. Keep in mind, it's a raid. You're with 9 other people. If you're not, I mean, sorry, this isn't that whole 30, 20, 10-minute run that you were hoping for. Not everybody's going to be that way. Tough titties. But I am okay. I am certainly okay with this idea of Renown. I had this idea years ago, and so I'm certainly down for it. And I hope that the elite gear for sure. It's I can only imagine going to the forums and hearing players talk about it's like, oh, you need to be an elite to get the elite gear. It's like, cool. Well, now we can just play the game and get the elite gear. So now I have the elite gear. I'm comfortable now to go into elite, and there's no more of this gatekeeping nonsense. It's like just go in, enjoy yourself. Also, bugs will be bugs, no doubt about it. So all for this Renown rework, and I hope to see more involvement with it outside of just, hey, here's your elite gear. Hey, we have these infinity mods that also need an update quality of life, but hey, guess what? You're probably going to put on the marketplace to piss us off. Anyways, moving on. So further, we're thrilled to announce that our battle-tested players who defeat new elite bosses will now earn exclusive R&D recipes, which will allow the crafting of elite weapons, neck, ring, and utility belt items. Creating these items will also have new feats attached. First off, hey Grid, what's going on, buddy? So I'm not really a fan of this. It does, okay? It does give, again, that exclusivity of folks who are those elite players, that they'll have something different compared to myself, who will just run the content like normal, get my Renown, I'll get my gear, I'll get my elite gear, just so I can get the styles. And I've crafted enough, not in this game, because the crafting is awful. So the elite players need something. They need that carrot in order to go into that content and get something. And this so happens to be the R&D recipes of weapons, neck, ring, and utility belt. So it's not a bad idea. I mean, and again, new developers, new ideas, something different. Try it. Let's go with the first episode. Let's go with this first story arc, and let's just try it and see what happens. Now, of course, all of us who have been here remember monthly episodes where, oh yeah, you just gotta go play this content, get some recipes, and you get to craft your gear. Oh yeah. It was a nightmare. That was awful. We should never go back to that. So that's why I'm also a little apprehensive that we're going back to the idea of using the crafting to make weapons, neck rings, and utility belts, although it's certainly not the gear for them. But I'm also not a fan of them having feats attached to them. For those completionists out there, it's, I can craft an organized inventory. My God, Therm, I'm trying to have a conversation and you're just kicking my ass. Damn. But yeah, not a fan of the feats being attached to this. And again, there has to be a carrot for the elite players to do something, So I get the R&D recipes only for the elite bosses. I get the feats attached to creating these. I do. I am just not sure I'm not sure how it's going to play out, only because it's a 13-year-old game. Those of us who have been here for those 13 years, we remember, we have the PTSD from R&D recipes making shit. We have the art. We just have that PTSD. And either the recipes themselves are going to be good drop rates, the items that we need to create are going to be better. If we're also going to see maybe an overhaul of the whole crafting system, then let's fucking go. But we'll have to see how it goes. It's one of those moments that, again, I am being optimistic because you're adding some good changes, but you're also using bad stuff. But I'm willing to let you guys understand it, try and use it. I don't know if there's anyone still on the dev team from the days of monthly episodes. And I'm telling you right now, if there isn't and they needed that feedback, call me. Greg Miller calls me. He called me one time. Okay, it was just one time, but I still love him. I want to be his best friend. But talk to us veterans. Like I have to tell you right now, I open it up. Like, Andre, you want to come and talk to me? You know, Kendrick, come and talk to me. I have years that I've been doing this, and I know these past couple of years of not playing DCUO has really affected me. I'm so sorry for that. But like, again, this is some PTSD moments for some of us. As soon as I go in there and I see even an R&D recipe drop for me, one time I play Elite and I go into that crafting system, it's just like, oh, just want to scream. But let's move on. Also new is we're also excited to be launching a brand new event system to centralize your gameplay experience. This will improve event communication and accessibility. You'll be able to select content, view progress, and examine rewards. This event system will also serve as a launchpad for our major new addition called Campaign 2025. This new annual campaign will offer players the chance to complete multiple events throughout the year to earn mega prizes that we know you'll love. Stay tuned for more details. What up, Ninja? Act DCUO? Act Deuce? What's going on, buddy? Sorry, your purple kind of blended in, and I'm not wearing my glasses, so it kind of like, yeah. Why is Trex streaming? Did he not complain enough? I didn't complain enough, James. I have so much more complaining to do. So the idea of a brand new event system to centralize your gameplay experience. Is this DCS Project 2025 bad naming? Michael Grid, no Grid, no, not today. It's interesting. It's interesting to at least see the paragraph about it, because I am curious to see exactly what they mean by this new event system, the centralized gameplay experience to improve communication and accessibility. I'm not really sure what to improve when it comes to the communication. I don't know what it means to improve the accessibility. You know, like the accessibility means that people can't get in. No, people can get in all the time. Like that thing is just like, it's easy mode. It's quick. It's dirty. It's nasty. But the communication wise, it's like there's no communication needed. Like it's so stupid, dumb. Like for World of Warcraft players out there, playing event is like playing a warlock. You put your face here, down on the keyboard, and just roll around. I mean, you could really just actually play event, close your eyes, and just. Did I get it? The boss is dead. I think the boss is dead. It's already easy enough. So I'm not really sure even what communication is needed, because even the mechanics in the event aren't threatening. They're not threatening at all. Like you don't have to block, which is also not really showing the right mechanics to players. Let me go ahead and state that. It's really doing that. It's not cool. You'll be able to select the content, view progress, and examine rewards. Like I am certainly curious about this system. This is probably the one thing I am so ironed in on to see exactly what they're trying to improve here when it comes to the event content, because the biggest thing that I worry about, especially for new players, is the leveling experience. Leveling 1 to 30 is the easiest thing, and it's probably also the most fun because of how linear everything is. But when you hit level 30 and you start having to grind your tiers to get all the way to in game, you have some content that does have open world, but then you have once you really get, I cannot remember if it was like Gotham Wasteland was the last one. There's an open world that is it. You hit this open world, and that's the last thing you'll see before you get to Amazon Fury Part 3, because it's just how it is. And so, and that's really the monthly episode stuff. There's just a gap of open world content that you can just be in open world, do those missions, and get stuff, and you're good. But then when you're done, like when you drop out of that tier or something, it's like, nope, you have to grind the omnibus the entire way. You just gotta grind. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm in Amazon Fury Part 3. Here's a brand new open world experience. Woo! Let's go. So that's probably one of the biggest things, like I want, especially into a new event system, is I truly want to see a change for open world. And even when I'm saying open world, I really want to see a change for solo players. And I hate to say that. I know it's an MMO, it's an MMORPG. We're here to play with other people. But one of the beauty things that I love about World of Warcraft that they recently done was, in fact, the delves. They have delves. It's a solo player game. It's a solo player experience. But I can still get my some actual good gear, and it works for the overall system. I get stuff. I don't have to raid with 25 other people. It's just me here, and I'm good. I love that. And I'm not looking for DCO to try and copy that to an extent, but I am wanting the experience of, I want players who just play by themselves. They're nervous. I don't want to go over and play with these other people because they're gonna gatekeep. They're gonna make fun of me. That anxiety is real. That anxiety is super real, because I experience that too. I experience that every day in World of Warcraft, because it's like, 'cause I'm a tank. It's like, oh crap, they're gonna fuck me. They're gonna kick my. And it's like, so that anxiety is really just a horrible thing to experience. So I spend all my time in the delves, and I spend my time in open world. DCUO doesn't really have that luxury. It doesn't have that, where on the leveling experience, let me say, like, it doesn't have that. So grinding through tiers is probably the worst experience. And I hope that this new event system really kicks that into gear. They notice that part, because I really do worry about that. And yeah, man, we're talking about that. Woohoo! We're talking about DCUO. Talking about the producer's letter. What up, Mr. Dave? Love to see you, buddy. You think Meps and crew would have got this letter? I mean, Meps has sent things like this before. I mean, or he's posted things about this. But I mean, that's about it. Miss Meps. He's not dead. He's just, doing other things. Hope he's doing well. This weird thing about mega prizes, though. Multiple events throughout the year to earn mega prizes. I don't know, because the Outsider Ops with the 2024 token is not my favorite thing now, because especially it's gone. It's done. And we're now ending in 2024. So what do I do with my 2024 tokens? Instead of it just calling the Operator Ops token, it's like Operator Ops 2024 token. It's like, so what am I going to do with my 2024 stuff? Will they only be used for 2024 items? And then here's my 2025 stuff, and I only get to use it for that? Or is there going to be an exchange rate? Like, what's really the future there? And I think that should have been really ironed out at the announcement of Operation Ops. Because again, that's one of the things that DCO is still 13 years later notorious of, is they don't give us the full information. We have all these questions. We truly, truly need more info, especially when you launch something like this. So, I mean, I certainly welcome the developers, the producers, just to come talk to me. We'll stream it. It's like, look, I'm going to ask the hard questions. Why do we have these 2024 tokens? Why are they even 2024? What's going to happen to 2025? What's going to be 2026? Why are they years on these? We've never done years before. What are you doing to our game? So I'm interested. And the mega prizes makes me a little worrisome, because one of the hurtful things that happens in the seasonals, like, winter season's greetings is now here. And for newer players, even for myself who are like years behind, there's no catch up mechanic. There's really not a catch up mechanic whatsoever. It's my one character is playing out here and there, and I'm playing it so I can get the current year of feat worthy items there. I'm getting those. And then I have to play my alts to play the other years to play catch up. And not a lot of players are gonna like especially Carla. She doesn't do alts. She plays one character. That's her one. And a lot of players will like that, and I respect that. So what are you gonna do for the players who only play that one character? How are you gonna let them trying to play catch up with other stuff? And the answer is not going to the fucking marketplace and spending real cash on these little tokens to get this stuff in game. That's not the answer. It will never be the answer. The marketplace is there for cosmetics. It's not there to circumvent. It's not there to circumvent playing the game. It's not. I'm looking at still you, Tactical Mods. I'm still hurt by that. But we're just getting started. Other features that we're exploring include account-wide cash sharing. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, let's fucking go. Sorry, what's up? Hey, Lurker. Heroes and villains coming together in cross-faction leagues. Oh, there's gonna be so many people mad. Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, World of Warcraft just launched the same thing as well, and I mean, I'm my alliance character is in a, I'm sorry, what is it? Yeah, my alliance character is in a guild with horde characters, which my friends at work play. So it's like, everybody's just like got these trolls and undeads, and I'm just a little night elf just going, "Who wants a rejuve? I'm a bear, rawr." I got undead people going over there. It's like, "You're an asshole." You can see the Justice Girls combining their leagues at that point. Absolutely at that point, right? Time, like, absolutely. That 70s show. Next one is private queues, removing restrictions on group sizes. Is Death Mike still around? Where's Death Mike? Where is he? Private queues removing restrictions on group sizes has been wanted for the past 12 years. You know what? I'll even go at least 11. At least 11. It was probably about like year 3 people were wanting that because they had to get rid of it. But I have never, and people can probably go back to my past videos or something because I'm going by my old brain history. I certainly have been against private queuing. I absolutely have. And the only reason I was against private queuing was because of our population. PlayStation, PC, we're good. We're aces. We have people. Don't go to villain. Just don't create a villain. Make a hero. Well, now that we can do cross-faction leagues, like, just make a hero. Hero it up. Okay. There. But private queues, it's gonna be something. I love that we are now at a place that they can explore these. So I am against it again only because of population purposes. Because again, if you're queuing in by yourself, but there's 9 people waiting for you to try and run this thing, it's like it's causing them more headache. But hopefully they have the data to prove. They have the data to back this up that this is going to be a good thing and they want to do this. So go for it. Can't wait to see exactly how they pull it off. I can't wait to see all the videos of players out there just playing some Death Mike stuff and just killing it, maybe finding exploits or something because, that happens too. And by the way, if you're still a speed hacker or running with a speed hacker and you go into these private queues thinking you're all hot stuff, we can still see cheaters. All right, you're nothing new. So if they do provide private queues for removing restrictions, don't put feats to them because this is going to bring in the hackers, and you really need to figure out what to do with this damn speed hacker thing. It's just obnoxious at this point. Do you know someone was actually streaming a speed hacker, like, proudly? Like, disgusting human being. And then finally, improvements to the knockout revive gameplay and much, much more. What the fuck does improvement to the knockout revive gameplay mean? Like, am I gonna actually can that's the one thing I kind of do miss is like there's an ability that I have that's actually a like res. I resed you, battle res. But maybe there's I'm super interested to see what they talk about that. But continuing on, also worth noting that we see deeper gameplay potential in DCUO summonable entities, which are allies, pets, psychics, henchmen, etc. Not really sure what the etc is because you really knocked everything out. And we'll be looking into their utility, progression, and overall UX. Yes. Yes. One of the biggest things that when we first got sidekicks and henchmen is we wanted to change their colors. We want to change their look. We need. Please give it to us. We all wanted to change our henchmen. And the fact that we have these different henchmen that we can now collect and we can summon, and it's great. And they're also account wide to an extent. You can at least tradable account wide. But they're great. Like they're fantastic. But we literally could have, we somewhat could have just dealt with not really buying or waiting for sidekicks and henchmen to drop basically anymore. Like they don't need to be drops anymore. Instead, they now can just be styles. Hey, guess what? You can go into the marketplace and sell us a style to a sidekick, sell us a style to a henchman, sell us a style to an ally or a pet, give us a different costume change, sell a cosmetic on the marketplace. That's what it's there for, to sell cosmetics, not to sell. Sorry, I'm just going to get into a goddamn rant again. And just not selling progression. You don't sell progression in a marketplace. But I'm interested to see this. One of the cool things I do like, and again, another idea or another thing I love from World of Warcraft is my garrisons. It's my bases, and I love that the little sidekicks and the extra characters I get with my character that are tied to my faction, tied to my class, my race, and I can take them on mission. They can go on missions for me to get little trinkets. They can get items for me. They can get materials. Tradable stuff. So it's good that I can just go to a nice little, I go to a little board and it's like, yep, I want these three to go on this mission to get this item, to get this gold, to get this nymph metal, to get this catalyst. They can go on missions as a side thing that I don't have to worry about. One of the things that we also wanted from World of Warcraft when looking at that system is we wanted it on our phones. There's a battle.net app on our phone that we can go and kind of look at our gear, look and see what the best slot is. But it's like we really wanted access to that particular gameplay feature so that we can, while I'm sitting at work, not able to log in my boring ass meetings, just go, oh, my guys are done with their mission. Let me go ahead and just get them going. Your new mission, just keep farming while I'm off game. You're farming for me while I'm off game. AFK games on mobile devices do that all the time, and it's one of the greatest things. It's just mind numbing. It's like it's done. And the overall UX of even the ally system, it needs to be better. When specifically for me, when it comes to pets, it needs to be deeper. You know, for me. And DCUO is a different beast, right? It's different coded. It's just different. So you can't be like I can be. It's not like I can be in World of Warcraft where I'm a hunter. I literally have a new action bar for my pet. And I tell it what to do or what to auto assign to like, listen, hey, auto just every time you're on cooldown, just auto do this ability and just tell it what to do. Put it to passive, put it to active. DCUO doesn't have that kind of UI. But are you telling me you're looking into it? Is that something that you're going to try and do? Because if you do, if you're able to accomplish that, our sorcery players, our earth players, guys, there's another pet. Am I missing another pet class? Am I just brain dead with another pet ability or pet power? Gadgets. Gadgets has a power as a pet. Yeah. I guess I can include the robot sidekick to an extent as well. But provide a UI to allow our pets to be better. One of the things that we also want for the pet is, power set pets. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just sorcery. It's technically sorcery and earth and gadgets, I think, are the three. But one of the things that we want too for pets specifically is we want them to have stats. We want we want the pet's power to be based off of our stat, not just a random number that's tied to the CR of our characters. That's just there. It needs pets need to be based off of might. If you're like hybrid, or if you're superpower, it's going to be based off of might. If you're weapon mastery, it's going to be based off of precision. If you're hybrid, it's going to be based off of both and the precision. Like, that's the UI thing that we should be looking at for our pets. It's based off of our spec in our roles, and those are just like our specific pets, not necessarily the artifact pets or the trinket pets. I guess actually probably what the etc. is artifacts and trinkets. Well played, Emerson. Well played. But those are what I'm trying to see is like, yeah, mental if you have this special ability in your tray. Very, very true. But yeah, power set pets who are actually from the tray. That's where I really want to talk about is from the tray, not any of these things else. The pets from the tray, those stats of the pets should be included in there. Anyways. Okay, so I got the stream marker here, and we're going to go into future story arcs. So once again, every new adventure starts with chapter 1. The era of episodes has come to an end, but that doesn't mean we're going to be erasing their existence. You'll continue to find both episodes and future chapter releases coexisting in-game as story arcs. So I think Harley Quinn is our final episode as a name. What was it, like episode 43? Episode 44? What episode is Harley? Like, we were in the 40s. Like, let's also keep in mind, because and thankfully it's actually based off of numbers, but I mean, it's like 40 some odd episodes. 40 some odd episodes and 13 years of gaming for DCUO, which really should have not lasted this long, to be honest. To be honest. And again, the console players of PlayStation have really saved the shit out of this game. Because if this was still just only PlayStation and PC, it really would, because we had to bring in Xbox and Switch. Thankfully, those are really not really, I don't see them really helping, but I mean, the player base is there, and I'm happy that it's available, but it's just not crossplay. But I mean, if this game was built for PlayStation, it was built for PlayStation, and then it came into PC as a port, so let's go ahead and just get that out the window, okay? Let's go ahead and get that. So we're very hard on. So I'm really happy that we've lasted this long, and it is it's amazing to see that we've lasted these episodes this long for sure. Now, and for years, I have been saying that we need a new content structure. The content structure that we got from what we had during the base game era, moving into monthly episodes, that was a content structure. From monthly episodes, we went into I'm going to call it the Mueller era of content structure. And she brought that with with Amazon Fairy Part 3 and shifted it to this beautiful open world. These, to be fair, too long of a grind weekly missions, but we had the constant structure of the raids and how duos and raids and solos and everything was given to us. So for a couple of years, that was great. It really was. But it did run its course. And most of the time, content structures are going to probably change. Maybe it should change about every 5 years, really. And that's just my opinion, of course, not as a game developer, but just as a person who just plays games. But it's been time that we need a structure in content. And I think we're looking at it here. Now, I think this is really talking more about the story, but I'm hoping we do see more from this. So let's move on. You may be asking why future storytelling expansions won't be called episodes anymore. And that's because we have big plans to release multi-part narratives highly focused on delivering compelling and compassionate storytelling. Again, some of that PTSD is really coming in. I'm not going to lie, because we definitely had that for War of the Light, Halls of Power, and Amazon Fury. 3 story narratives that were delivered to us not too terribly. I mean, the one that really messed it up was honestly the monthly episodes. It really butchered the War of the Light Part 3 stuff terribly. Like I still feel like we didn't actually get a full ending to War of the Light, to be honest, because monthly episodes really butchered that up. The other storytelling that we had, more recent, was the dark metal, and dark metal warmed out its welcome pretty hard, really, really hard. My thing, or my problem with War of the Light and those three-parter episodes was it was giving it to us in pieces. It was, oh, here's War of the Light Part 1, Halls of Power Part 1, Amazon Fury Part 1, War of the Light Part 2, Halls of Power Part 2, Amazon Fury Part 2. And it's like, I don't really like that. It alternated to give us, it kept us incoming, but to an extent as well, it wasn't done very well. And I love the content when we got it, but when you're looking at a conclusive story for it, because even now I look at all past contents, I have an entire spreadsheet of tier stuff that I look out sometimes, and it's trying to map out like, okay, well, we have this Green Lantern story here, and we're just gonna try and figure it out. Okay, we're gonna have to skip that tier because that doesn't exist, so we're just gonna come over here, trying to find like a conclusive story from the very beginning gets a little rough. But maybe this storytelling will be different. So as we continue, these types of stories aren't meant to be episodic, and so to the idea of chapters making up each new story arc conceptualized. We're putting our foot forward to bolster our roots as to why we're fans of comic books. Okay, I get it. It needs to be full. Don't chop it up and give us like story arc chapter 1, chapter 2. Hey, we're gonna do a new story arc. Here's chapter 1 of that. Nope. As much as the dark metal storyline really warmed out its welcome, stick to a solid number of how many chapters you really want to do, and absolutely make it, that's your story. It happens to comic book writers all the time. It's like, hey, here's the pitch, here's the story, how many chapters? We're gonna do 10, let's do 12. Okay, I can stretch it to 12. Cool, you have 12. Here's your story arc. We're gonna make it a graphic novel at the end of it, and you're done with your story, and we'll move on. So and I've seen that through the years in comic books. Like, they certainly do those kinds of pitches. So I'm seeing the same kind of pitch here. Is like, hey, I have maybe this 3-part, maybe this 4-part story. I think this is actually going to 4 parts. Without going too much in detail, DCO's next story arc will be the darkest yet in a 4-part mystery adventure starting with chapter 1 in late January. Take a look at a couple of these sneak peeks from the art team. So we're looking at a 4-part mystery thing. So cool. You have 4-part chapter to tell this story. Let's knock it out. Here's all 4. We're going to release it, and that's it. So even probably and let's also keep in mind too that they're not even talking about releases schedule. We don't know how long chapter 1 is going to actually keep us enthralled. Current episodes are supposed to last us between 3 to 6 months, usually 9. Well, actually, I won't say 9. It has been about 6 months. So we kind of get maybe 2 to 3 episodes per year. How many parts are we going to get next year? First part in this chapter 1 thing starts in January. What's the next one after that? How long are we looking here? Because one of the other burnouts too was that monthly episodes, and that was the monthly episodes were giving you either a duel or a raid, or a solo and alert, or a duel and alert, or a solo and a raid. The monthly episodes burnt the devs out so much that they were thankful to go back to just doing episodes for months on end. That was awful. And it was, as players, it's like, man, we got a new episode this month, new content, let's go. Great for us, but burnt out the devs. And you could sometimes see that. And as a person who talked to developers at that time a lot, hearing their frustration, it's like, guys, I don't want you to do this. I'm the outside guy looking in, and I'm happy with the content that you're providing. Please stop. You're burning yourselves out. It's not good. So I'm certainly interested, and honestly, I am excited to see what they're going to do for these story arcs. What's going to happen in January as we go into this is December. We got the season's greetings. January is going to hit us with the anniversary event. We're going back to Antimatter. And then later in January, we're getting this new chapter 1. January is going to be packed full of just good shit. So let's look at these images here. So, images from the art team. For a still, it looks pretty good. I like how the trees look. I mean, I'm not sure how much ray tracing is kind of in here, little ray tracing. All they can do is better than what MEPS devs did, only up from here. Okay, so Two-Face, we're gonna go ahead and just go into this real quick. I fucking refuse any besmirching to MEPS or that dev team. Let's go ahead and just get that out the rip, okay? That is not happening in this channel, okay? MEPS and that dev team did fantastic. People absolutely hated MEPS because MEPS was good at his job. And if that's the case, then he definitely deserved all that hate. But I've known that man for years. I've known those developers for years. Cannot and refuse to have that kind of besmirchment here. You just can't say things like, oh, the devs, oh, those guys suck. It's going to be only up from here. No, it's fucking terrible. Because you know why it's still terrible? Because we still have a pay-to-win item in the marketplace. And they're going to try and trick us by just giving us a free one. There's still a lot of things that's going to be discrepants in this thing. So I absolutely refuse the besmirching of the developers. I'm not even too mad about the developers here. It's like, all you gotta do better. It's like, everybody's doing better. Everybody's doing better. You understand that even when MEPS was here during the time of that, like, we had Chris Chow. We had Chris Chow as our creative director when it launched. He left. Jens Anderson came in. And there are peaks and valleys. There's always going to be peaks and valleys. Even these guys, Harley and the Apocalypse is probably just going to be one of those valleys. It's been a lot of valleys, to be honest, but it's also been a weird year. But I mean, yeah, once you're at the bottom, all you really can do is go up. But guess what? They can still go much further. And the tactical mods really proves that it's going down further. Everything from this newsletter is absolutely giving me a lot of hype for it. But I still cannot get the bad taste in my mouth that you still have a progression item on the marketplace that you're trying to sell, and it's awful. These guys could literally come in, and I mean, I could be talking to Emerson here as well. It's like, dude, you are showing me some great things. I love this art. Even this next picture is fucking wild. That's, I know some people like chains. This is kind of weird. But I mean, reading nothing but great things from this, but I'm still going to have a problem that you have a pay to win item on here. And that needs to go away. That needs to be changed, because it would not surprise me if we had another mass exodus of players. Now, at the same time, it is an MMO. Mass exodus players are going to be leaving. More players are going to be coming in. That's just the revolving door. And that's really just the genre of it, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, all you can do is go up. But I mean, again, I will absolutely not allow any besmirching of any MEPS of any developer. It may sound like I'm also being facetious about a lot of things, or I'm not even using that right word. Because yeah, I do absolutely hate that there's a pay-to-win item on the marketplace. I absolutely do. But I'm also still recognizing the good work that these developers doing. It's 13 years. This game should technically not have existed this long. It really should almost be a case study. It really should. And Warner Brothers and DC has done a better job over the years to promote this game, to support this game much, much fucking more. But like, they're still in the dirt. They are still absolutely down there in the dirt. And hopefully 2025 in this direction gives them that push forward. But we're getting good and we're getting bad. 2 days ago, I was bitching about the pay to win tactical mods. Today, I'm still bitching about it. But now I'm getting this as almost breaking my neck with how much I'm just whiplash of it. That this has been great information. This is great things that's coming to the game. And the game has always had great ideas. Great things come, but everything on paper is different when it's implemented. So that's also my big fear. Because again, a lot of the things that are happening here, there's a lot of whiplash. There's a lot of PTSD that I have. I don't like crafting. That crafting was bad. So hopefully we see something good there. But even what's with the sex dungeon, I know it's so. The art team really did a great job in this, and I'm really interested to see if this is like a raid or something. But actually, I know some players as well that look at these pictures and just go, "Wow, that's in my base. That's in my base. Oh, that's actually going in my base." And I really do hope that they use some of these assets to make them into base items, because everything that they build as the art team builds these, they need to be put into a base item. That's what they really need. So so moving on, to support the weight of this new level of storytelling, we're also excited to introduce a brand new section on our website called Story Blogs. Story Blogs will be an extension to the stories untold in DCUO. Whether it be a deep dive in lore, side stories, prequels, or teasers, it'll have it all. Keep an eye out for the first one as we get closer to the holidays. So, I remember Corey. This was actually one of his big problems with DCUO, even in the early days. You have the story unfolding in front of you. You're playing the story, but they rely a lot of the lore with investigations, with briefings, and you had to collect those to really see and hear those side stories. And even now, like, it still happens. They still use that, and it's still kind of a good plot device. I do agree with him to an extent that the stories themselves, as we're engaging with it, as we're playing with it, we should be hearing those more versus it being there. Having the story blogs here, I am interested to see how the first one goes, to see if we get a little bit more lore hunting, quite literally. Yeah. And they'll even say, like, World of Warcraft does that kind of lore hunting as well. You have to do a lot of the side quests, and that also kind of goes into, maybe that's what they really needed, was, instead of being briefings and investigations, instead of really even doing story blogs, provide more quests in the game, if it'll allow it. But a lot of the side stories that we get, we should experience it in game. We should be playing it. Again, one of the hurtful things with the content structure is, new episode drops, you go into the open world, you get your mission is going to tell you, like, hey, go see Batman in Gotham Curse and see what's going on, and you hear the beautiful voice acting to hear it, but really it's, hey, get this kill quest, get this kill quest, get this grab quest, get this quest, this is a weekly, this is a dungeon, this is a daily, and you're just soaking up all the missions, but there's no lore to it. There's no rhyme or reason to it, besides just doing it. There's no listening to how the characters interact with each other standing there in the center, and there's no, it really just, it's part of a leveling experience. There's, if DCUO, when an episode or now a story arc or a chapter drops, I'm really hoping that we actually see that when we get that pointer mission, it tells us to go here. It tells us to go talk to Batman. We're going to go talk to Batman right here. And we're going to hear what he is doing. And he's going to give us a quest to go out here and do it. And he's going to be with us, or he's going to tell us over the intercom as we're following a story beat. And then we unlock all the dailies. We unlock all the weeklies. So we don't need everything open to us when an episode drops. Give us some story. The story blog seems like a good idea and something to engage even us who don't play the game, but it'll also maybe entice those who don't play the game. They'll come to the website, figure out what's going on, and they're going to see the story blog. It's like, oh, what's the story blog? Let's see what's going with oh, it's a Larfleeze story. And then you start reading that as a comic book fan, and they're going to get more interested in the game. So it certainly is a marketing tool. But I really do want to see that kind of story within DCUO. Give us an actual story to engage us in this content without it being, go see this guy, do your open worlds, do your weeklies. Oh, good. Now you got to go do the solo. Hey, go do this duo. You're going to do the alert next, and then the raid, and there's your story. A lot of that storytelling is also done in cutscenes in the actual content. We need more in open world. The open world is not engaging; it's bland, and that's one of the things that really hurts with that cookie cutter motif with the open world content. It's just not engaging. It's not much to be excited for a new episode besides, oh, there's new gear, but you're going to get in and you're still experiencing the same gameplay. It's, oh, here's my 4 dailies, here's my 2 weeklies, gotta kill this weekly boss, and okay, what? Nope, there's the solo, there's the duo, there's the alert, and there's the raid, and okay, all done, yay. So there needs to be more. And so even for the story blogs, I think let's see what it does. And hopefully the developers can take some of these story blogs and really tie those stories as there's just prequels, side lore, add them to the game. Just add it to where I can walk next to an NPC and it tells me to interact with it. It's like, oh, why do I need to interact with it? And once I interact with it, it's telling me a story. It's using the voice actors. It's telling me something, what's going on. And I'm getting that feedback. I'm getting it from them. I know it's going to hurt a lot of people. Okay. I know it's going to be hurting a lot of people. We're not going to get those artful cinematics again. If we do, fucking hell. But if we don't, I don't think we're going to get that. But it's cool. I'm really interested to see how these story blogs work on a marketing standpoint. So let's go. I'd like to thank you all again for the incredible year. While the team has lots of new faces, we've also experienced countless learnings. 25 is going to be a thrill ride for DCUO, and we're grateful that you're along for the rush. Andre Emerson, executive producer. So, if you ask me, am I excited for 2025 for DCUO? I am excited. There's changes coming that have been very, very needed. There's some great ideas that have been discussed on the forums, that have been discussed by myself, by other content creators that they're looking to actually do. And while this isn't like a roadmap, because, roadmaps and DCUO just don't mix. I can't remember the game either. There was a game that I just saw that talked about like it was a roadmap, but New World. New World provided a roadmap, and it wasn't like a promised roadmap. It was a roadmap, just like what we are working on, what is our next goal, and then what we're looking to into the future. It's given 3 stages of that, and like if you give me 3 stages in that format, then I think everyone's going to like a roadmap, because it's not leading to promises. It's just like what we're currently working on, what our next dockets are going to be about, and then what we're researching what we can do next. So giving us those 3 kind of lines from New World was really neat. And I think DCUO could probably use that kind of format to an extent without giving us like dates. We don't need dates. We don't need promises. Just like, this is what you're working on. This is what we're going to work on next for the future. And then what we're researching, what we can do. So there are a lot of good ideas. And let's also keep in mind too, that a lot of us have PTSD from this game. And there are times where it's like, I just need to stop. I just need to stop playing this. I need to stop covering it. There's no reason, because let the new kids do it. Let the new kids do all this. They're young. They're into it. They're fresh-eyed, bushy-tailed. They have all the future and the brightness in them, and I'm just full of darkness and hate. But we have PTSD because it's coming from water. Okay? Water. Water was told that we were going to get it, and we didn't get water power for 2 years. So now I'll also keep in mind that the reason we didn't get water for 2 years was because part of that was they planned to do the stats revamp, and they didn't want to release the power until stats revamp was done. So there was a reason for it, but it took us years. So I think get out of the way. Get out of the way, old man. So that's also one of the things I haven't streamed or done DCO content this year either. It's like, you know what? I'm on Twitch. I see the new people streaming and like, you know what? Go for it, man. Like, I mean, even for me, I've been doing this forever. And even as a person who's done this forever, topping out at like 21, 25 viewers. Yeah, that's per the fucking norm. That's per the norm for me. And I hope that other DCO streamers at least get better at it with it. So I mean, more, yeah. I mean, if this old geezer's out of the way, let one of the newer people come up. Like I see some of the people who are doing YouTube videos for DCUO, and yeah, they have the excitement, they have the drive, they have it, and there's to a point that's like, I've been in the game. I have too much skin in the game. I've been in it too long. I see the problems. I can't ignore the problems. I can't come in here with a big old smile and just like, we're gonna have a fun time. We're gonna do the raid that we've been doing for the past 25 times, trying to get the same currency. Oh, can't do it anymore. Now, obviously, if you tell me how many times I've ran the raid in WoW, I've ran it 3, maybe 4. I probably ran it like about 4 times. Not much a raider anymore. I just I don't have that in me anymore. These old hands, the old hands and the synapses don't click anymore. But I am excited for 2025. I also love the anniversary event for DCUO. It's one of my favorite events of the year. I love the anti-monitor stuff. I love the styles that they come with it. It's really just more refresher of existing gear. So it's like, yeah, let's go. My main goal in WoW is to get traders post transmogs. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. You all can certainly see this producer's layer on the DCUO website. It's also on the forums as well. And I know this has definitely been like a long bloated videos for all of people who are in stream, all the people who are also watching this on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you get the same excitement that you get with these producer layers to an extent. The other ones this year have been kind of lackluster, but I mean, it's just been that year, you know? It's a recovery year, so to speak. But I mean, they've absolutely, and Andre here absolutely hit great topics of what was coming. Great things that we've been wanting in the game for years. And we're finally at a point that we can get that. So onward and upward. Let's see what DCO has. But again, it's really like this whiplash thing. Like, I cannot get out of my brain the fact that we sell progression tactical wipe mods on the marketplace, and it just bothers me to no extent. Like, you present us this producer's letter of great ideas, great things coming in the future, great things coming next year, and yet it's really tarnished the excitement to an extent because we have a pay-to-win item on the marketplace, because of the terrible practices of the marketplace. It really puts a sour note on things. But as usual, any of those developers, and I can't wait to actually like message Greg Miller, and it's like, hey Greg, just to keep you up on top of this, because he's a busy guy. His son's just amazing. It's like, hey Greg, here's a producer's letter. If you need me, I'm here. Let's talk about it. And I know for me, I invite Andre, I invite Kendrick, I invite any developer who wants to come and talk to me. Like, let's talk. You know, let's get on the proverbial couch. Let's get on the internet couch, and let's talk. Let's discuss these changes. Because certainly I want to help you promote some of the great changes that you're doing, and obviously they would not answer any question when I bring up, it's like, so why'd you bring that pay to win item to the marketplace? Why are you gonna do that? I'm not that guy. I'm gonna bitch about it, and I'll certainly probably ask you off camera, one-on-one, off the record, whatever. But it is a sour note, and I hope that the players out there put your voice to it. And if you have to put your wallet to it, then put your wallet to it. Just go and do it. But Ledge is going to be, I counter the marketplace argument for those that want to play with friends and have more money than time to grind away. That rhetoric, I'm not a problem with. I have no problem with how you spend your money. Remember the artifacts and exos and all that stuff that pay to advance. Those items are there on the marketplace. Buy them. Go for it. I know people who have spent thousands of dollars on those Wolfpack packs. They got the Wolfpack token and got their 200 artifacts on their alts. I have no problem how a player spends their money. No problem whatsoever. I'm adult about that. I have a problem with the game, with the developers providing these services, providing these items. The artifacts, I've kind of just gotten okay with it, and that's kind of how everything's going to be with the mods as well, to an extent. We're just going to be okay with it. Like, oh, it's there. I don't have to engage with it, so I'm not going to engage with it. But the problem is that you're going to have to, because the community is going to put those gatekeeps up, because the developers provided that. I can level an artifact on my own in-game, and I can do that to my heart's extent. I don't have to engage with the marketplace when it comes to leveling those, because one, I don't have disposable income. And if you do, cool. But I have a method to play the game and get that. These white mods are not available in-game. They are sold primarily on the marketplace. Now, when you log in today, bro, I have a great job I'm an IT director in charge of automation. I absolutely have money, and I'm absolutely not spending pay to advance bullshit like that. Absolutely not. Also, Dollar General is actually not good, and it's not. Terrible business practices. Just like GameStop, actually. GameStop was not good either. But I don't care how a person spends their money. I have a problem with, you provide an item that is about progression, that is about PvE, is a PvE item that provides increase in stats that you do not provide in-game with any method to get it in-game. You provide it as a sellable item. That's a pay to win. That's bad business process. That's awful. Everything else that they've skirted that gray line so hard that's almost like they've been playing Tony Hawk for the past 10 years. They have skirted that bad boy. Loot boxes the same way. You don't have to engage in loot boxes. You can get the quirks now. Thankfully, we had an in-game way to get quirks. I mean, you can spend those quirks from what you don't get in a loot box. You pay on Booster Gold to guarantee that you get something, no matter what the outrageous price is. I'm certainly a champion that they need to have quirks sellable in the marketplace. Sell me quirks. Let my money. I'll spend $20 on 1,000 quirks. Give me the quirks, and I'll go and get those loot box items myself from past years. I'll do that because I know my money is going to an item. It's not going to gambling, and that's exactly what loot boxes is. But going back over to the TAC mods, and the other way to fix TAC mods is to provide these on Dr. Fate vendor. Let me use my Fate tokens. Hold on. Not my Destiny tokens. You're not taking Destiny tokens. You're going to take my Fate tokens, because Fate tokens are gained by everyone in game. Everyone. You don't have to sit there and be a member to get your four Destiny tokens, or 3, whatever it is. These items should be available for everyone. And yes, Dave, I kind of do need that. There's some actual materials and chromas that I fucking need, dude. So, but these are items that should be available to every person in game, every person, and they're not, and that's the problem. I don't care how much a person spends on the game. It's their money. Thanks for supporting the game. I have a problem with the developers providing this. That's my problem. Absolutely. The artifact leveling, I can ignore that. I don't have to engage with that because I'm leveling up while I'm playing the game. But now they introduce an item that I have to spend money to get. Even if it is, again, and for those who don't even know the price, it's $5, right? It's $5 to get 5 of the mods. All right, so 500 Daybreak cash, 500 marketplace cash. If you remember, it's $450. So it's $5 till you get 5 mods. You get 5 mods of that, of a heart or whatever thing that you buy. If you want all of them, all 7 of them, it's going to be $40. If you want all the mods, it's going to be $40. And you get 5 of them. So you get multiple copies, but they're on the broker for 60 million. I'm not paying 60 million. And that's also the example that they're going to provide. It's like, oh yeah, when you buy them on the marketplace, they're tradable, so you can put them on the broker for 60 million. You know how expensive that is for in-game cash? That is a lot. That is an absolute travesty of a lot. Because for me, I only have 100 mil. Like 100 mil for me is like, man, I have a lot, but I also can't engage in the broker because I'm not going to drop 60 mil on this item. Selling it onto the broker is false. That's a false equivalence because you can't get that by playing the game. You can't even get barely 60 mil from fucking playing the game. The only way you get 60 mil by playing the game is if you buy loot boxes. You buy loot boxes, take those items and sell them. It's like you still have to exchange real money. In 3 weeks, there'll be 100K. Still not worth it. Still not worth it. I'm actually gonna log in so I can get my daily reward. But I'm logging into. I'm just gonna delete them. I'm deleting my marks. Like or those mods because I don't want them free ones. I don't want to engage in that bad business process. Like, I mean, this process actually made me want to quit DCUO. I wasn't even going to do this video. I wasn't even going to do this producer's letter because I was so mad about it. But I read the letter and I got excited and I wanted to share that excitement because it is exciting. But I cannot get the sour taste out of my mouth that they're going this direction. Because keep in mind, I said this in a Facebook post today as well. Keep in mind, it's not about today. It's about what they do next. Because we allowed them to do the artifacts. We allowed that because we engaged with that. And again, you spend your money however you want, but developers were bad to even offer that. That was them. That was their problem, their fault. I still don't even like the loot boxes either. It's still terrible. But now we have this item. What's next? What are they going to sell that should have been a quality of life change that should have been in the game for free that they're going to sell to us as players? I mean, really, what's next? They don't even need to provide the chapter. They don't even need to provide that. They could easily sell the elite gear to you. They could sell the elite gear itself. They can just put the gear onto the marketplace. It's like, hey, if you want that elite gear, you gotta go buy it. It's right up there. You gotta go buy it. This is the same thing. It's the same stat equivalence. You're gonna have to go up there and sell that. And it's awful. The next quality of life, I mean, even this Renown thing, like they could easily put that on the marketplace. I mean, and they most likely will, to be honest. It's going to be an actual just pay to advance, you know? I mean, technically the pay to advance thing is actually like the Renown boxes that we already get from like those booster bundles and such. Like those are already paid to advance and we got those in spades and everybody's going to be holding on to those motherfuckers now. Those are going to be cream of the crop.